I know hate is a strong word, but I hate Bill Maher. He's a coward, a weasel, a communist, a spineless turd. He thinks he can go around and insult people with no consequences. Let's watch Michael Franzese confront him about what Democrats are doing to Donald Trump.
Godfather, finally. I swear to God, I didn't know it was a hit.
This is years in the making.
Why?
Because I've always wanted to meet you.
Oh, really?
I'll tell you what happened.
I always wanted to avoid you.
Good idea. No, I'm only kidding. About 25 years ago, you were in a movie theater. We were in a movie theater together in Westwood.
Okay.
And I was going to come up to you then, and something happened. I don't know that I didn't. And then you were gone. I just want to say hello.
Oh. Well, yeah, I never hang around the movie theater when the movie's over. I'm always gone. I just
You were gone quick.
well, what were you going to say 25 years ago?
Hello, how are you?
Oh,
Enjoy
okay.
you?
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yeah, it was going to be nice and cordial.
Well, thank you for making the time, and congratulations on being such a success in this field.
Appreciate that.
It's interesting podcasting, isn't it? That like the biggest subjects, maybe the two biggest, are what we're into: comedy and crime.
Absolutely. It is crazy.
And some people would say they're often the same.
There's nothing funny about you, Bill, at all.
I'm not one of those people, but yeah. And
What's with the sly little smirky insults? Like, oh man, if I could get him, Michael Rappaport, Barack Obama, Hunter Biden, Joe Biden in a ring, I'll leave it at that. I hate Bill Maher's guts. I hate him.
and who knows more about crime than you?
I guess that depending upon what side of the fence you are, you could say.
You know, Mike, you're a businessman, a savvy businessman. You're making millions of dollars. You wrote a book, whatever. You don't need Bill Maher to promote your book. So I really feel for Michael Franzese right here, because this is the typical liberal Democratic worm, right? This is the type of guy, like when you're in public, he'll just be super disrespectful and rude for no reason. And then, oh, go ahead, do something. I'll call my lawyer. You could tell Bill Maher has never got his ass beat in his life.
That's either good or a bad thing. I've certainly had a lot of experience with it.
I think it's a bad thing. I'm with the law.
I got to stop it one more time. Oh, you're with the law? So you're with the law, but don't have a problem with the Biden crime family? You don't have a problem with Democrats securing the border, breaking every law in America? But he's with the law. That's why I can't stand liberals. See, he's the poster child of why no man should be a Democrat. You know, he thinks he's cool, but he's not cool. He has high estrogen. He looks like your grandmother. He's a PUSS. You know the rest. He's a commie, a spineless worm. And if they did what they did to if they went after Bill Maher the way they went after Trump, he'd hang himself.
Although, of course, as we all know, very often the people on the side of the law are the biggest criminals.
I wrote a book, Mafia Democracy. I have a copy for you right here.
Oh, good.
And you're going to read this book. Now, I want to tell you something.
Mafia Democracy.
Now, I wrote this a year and a half ago. It wasn't current, but I mean, not today. But Bill, when you read that book, you're going to see that this is exactly how our government is operating, just like the mob.
In some ways, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, that's a bit of an exaggeration. I can tell you many ways
really?
the government doesn't act just like the mob, but you're not without a point. As far
Leave it to liberal Bill, spineless, gutless worm. So he doesn't think that our government operates like the mafia. That's a joke.
as, I mean, what is the mob basically based on? It's based on the old idea of the Roman Empire's protection racket. The Roman Empire was a protection racket. I mean, they would, would you like to live? Oh, it's going to cost you. Would you like to keep your grocery store from burning down?
Mm-hmm.
Too bad they didn't get a hold of your bloodline, Bill.
It's going to cost you. That's the protection racket. There is some of that in government. I mean, what would you tell me? You wrote the book. What are some examples of that?
To me, it's just all about power and control, Bill.
Oh, that's vague. You're going to have to do better.
Well, power and control, meaning that these people get into office, they get intoxicated with the power, they never want to leave, as evidenced by, most of our Congress people. And They enrich themselves.
But give me a specific example of how the government acts like the mafia.
Well, there again, I mean, it's all about, what are we all about? We wanted to make money, and we wanted to stay in control of people. And the government operates the same way, in my opinion.
Give me an
I
example.
mean, listen, I don't throw one blanket over everybody in government. There are honest people there. I'm not saying that. But I think the mechanism has now become really all about power and control.
He's mixing a drink. He's being Mr. Obnoxious. He's being a whiny, coward, spineless piece of garbage that he is. Bill, I promise you, if I was on your show, I'd catch a charge and just smack the shit out of you. That would be the most views you ever got in your entire life, because people would love to see me smack you up and down the street and all around the room. And trust me, if you talk to me like that or treated me like that, you'd have a problem.
Why do I?
But surely there must be like examples. If you wrote a whole book at it, where it's like, you know what? At the Department of Labor, they did this.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to. I won't be specific like that.
No.
But listen.
And I can only go with you so far.
Okay.
You got to be specific.
Let me ask you this.
You're making an accusation like that.
All right. Let me ask you this. Politicians, many of them come into the money, come into power. They're middle class people. Don't have a lot of money, and they go out millionaires, multimillionaires. Many of them. How do you explain that?
Oh no, there is graft, and
Yeah.
I mean that characterizes. Well, finally, we have a guy in office who that does characterize.
Who's that?
Donald Trump. You may have heard of him. He won the election again.
Yeah, but he had money before he came into office. He didn't come into government to make money.
Yeah, are you fucking kidding me?
No, he didn't.
First of all, in his first term, we thought, oh, this is as bad as it can get with the graft, because he did things that no president ever done, like kept all his
Look at
assets.
his little woman hands.
People were staying.
Look at Bill's little woman hands. You know he can't satisfy any woman on the planet. It's not possible, because he probably has a vagina.
Foreign dignitaries and leaders were staying at his hotels.
I hate him.
Okay.
That's outrageous. And then he upped that. He put out a meme coin.
Okay.
And made $58 billion the day before he took office.
All right, but he was a billionaire when he went into office.
Yeah, well, we don't even know that, because he's such a liar that we have no idea what he was. He certainly acted rich, and he certainly was rich by any people's standards. He had his own plane, but we don't know. I mean, he wouldn't release his taxes. He was rich, and he likes getting richer, and he has no qualms about enriching himself in this office. I'm just saying this is new, but it's not new in many other countries in the world. They say Putin is probably worth $40 billion. We only get that from literally robbing the Treasury, when the Treasury and your personal bank account are basically the same thing. And potentates have done this all over the world.
So piece of crap Bill's trying to tell us that Doge, who's finding all these billions and trillions of dollars going to Democrats and all their people, no, it's just your imagination.
Asia, Africa, the Americas, we certainly have not been that country in general. There has been graft, never on that scale. He is because those are the kind of people he likes, or autocrats like that. But I don't think, for example, Xi in China does that. He doesn't need to. Why would he need to? He's the leader of China. He has his own plane. He has his own palace. You can't get richer than being the president. You cannot, even if the salary was zero, because everything is provided for you. And if you want to go somewhere, you get there faster than any other person in the world.
All right, well, let me ask you the difference. He came in as a wealthy guy. We're not counting his money, but we knew he was wealthy. What about Obama? He didn't come in wealthy.
And he didn't leave with that kind of wealth.
Well, he's worth, from what I'm hearing now, he's worth $100 million.
I doubt if he's worth $100 million. That's
what I heard.
But that's what I heard. That's what Trump says.
Yeah,
that's what I heard. People are saying, "Well, it must be true."
Come on, look at his life. Come on, look at his lifestyle.
Oh, look,
I'm not saying he's not entitled to it afterward, but I'm saying he became a very wealthy guy.
Okay, well,
this is a typical Democrat liberal attitude. We could steal, murder, sexually assault people, and you're not allowed to even win an election the right way. How dare you? How dare 84 million Americans vote for you? We need to lock you up.
Well, you tend to get famous when you're the first black president of the United States. It's kind of a big accomplishment.
Okay.
So, does he get a speaking fee? Probably gets $500,000 or even $1 million speaking fee. Yeah. Okay. So, but he didn't go in it for the money.
Huh.
He wasn't.
Well, we don't know that, Bill. I mean,
oh, for fuck's sake.
We don't know that. Really. I mean, I'm not saying
know,
that wasn't the only reason he wanted to be wealthy. He wanted to be president. We get that. But I'm sure he thought about, what it was going to do for him financially too. Why not?
Okay. I just don't think that was Barack Obama's motivation. I think it's something that comes along with getting to that. If you were at that level of success in any field, yeah, you would have some financial remuneration. I mean, it's peanuts compared to what what Trump is doing, that the kind of money he is making from just basically selling the job.
Why is this guy famous?
I mean, he was, for example, very much against TikTok. Let's get rid of TikTok. Until the TikTok guy came in and said gave a big contribution to his campaign. Then he was all for TikTok.
It's not what happened. Trump put buffers and security steps to what information China is able to get a hold of. So leave it to Bill. Bill's the type of guy you could tell he got a participation trophy. He probably never went to the playground as a kid, never shared his toys. I hate Bill. Bottom line, I hate him. So I'm not even embarrassed to say it at all.
He's very transactional. He doesn't even make a secret of it. He doesn't understand how government works. He still runs it like it's a business. In some ways, that might be advantageous. In the long run, I don't think it is.
What do you think of his the first 2 weeks in office? What do you think?
There are some things. Well, I said before he took office, I would not pre-hate anything.
Mm-hmm.
Now that he's in there's some things I hate, and there's some things I don't hate.
Okay.
It's a breath of fresh air as far as we're going to look at things in a way we've never looked at it before. Like maybe Gaza doesn't have to be this utter hellhole where the people are constantly attacking Israel and they are themselves constantly being attacked by this terrorist organization that runs them like a mafia. Maybe, it's a beautiful area on the beach.
What's with the finger? What's with the point? Who the F are you, man? Honestly, Bill, if I was on the show, I'd literally catch a simple assault charge and be smiling in my cell after I got done with you because I'd smack you all over the place.
Maybe it could be more like Dubai. Okay, it's great to think about that. But then we're going to just take it over? Like what? We're an imperial power. It's 1898 again. We're just going to take over Gaza and Greenland and the Panama Canal. It's,
Yeah, but Bill, don't you think he just puts things out there to get a reaction from people?
He's the president. You can't just put things out there.
Why not? Look,
he's not a podcaster.
Look what he did with the tariffs. Everybody jumped up and down. All the Democrats were upset. And what did he do? He named the tariffs just to bring these people to the table.
Okay.
He's a business guy. He negotiates.
Okay. It's a week into the tariff thing, Michael.
Yeah.
It's a week. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. It also could fucking put us into a depression because we've had tariff wars before.
Mm-hmm.
1930, okay, right after the stock market crash. It was the worst thing for the Depression was the tariff war. So a trade war, we'll see what happens. But
okay, but so far, no damage.
He's quoting 1930 like he was there. Effing idiot.
He accomplished what he wanted to do in the short run. He brought them to the table to get security at the borders.
Okay, there are people who have been damaged already because he froze all spending. People didn't get their Medicaid checks. And then he unfroze it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, you just can't do it. First of all, it's illegal. Congress has to pass the laws. He seems to forget about that part of governing this country. But yes, people, we'll see. I mean, it's too early to make giant judgments. Like I say, I don't mind re-looking at things. This country is bloated. I want to see what Musk is going to do with all that. The idea of just going with a sledgehammer through everything, not thinking things through, talking about us taking over places like an imperial power again. No, I don't like that. And he just doesn't.
No, I don't like that. I can't relate to that. I get my period one time a month. Oh my God, you have the strongest military in the world. I can't relate to that. I didn't even play with G.I. Joe as a kid.
Understand how this country works or doesn't care to learn, nor can you tell him anything.
I know, but you know how this country works, especially in the past couple of years, it hasn't been working well.
All right, but
At all.
it hasn't been working well, and it also could get worse.
I think it would have gotten a lot worse had Trump not been elected as president.
I'm getting that impression.
A lot worse.
Great. Well, you know what?
What did you think of Kamala? I mean, I've heard you, obviously. What do you think of her? Do you think that she should have even been a nominee?
You know, my line on her was, do I love everything? No.
Bill,
not even close.
the woman wasn't even competent to be.
Okay, but at least she understands how the United States government works, that it's not a monarchy. At least she concedes elections. Concedes the most important thing in this country, in a democracy, and your guy doesn't do it.
Let me tell you what my thoughts are, and I know where you're going with this. These Democrats for the past 4 years have done nothing but lie to us in every sense of the word. Lied. They've totally disregarded our trust for 4 years. Come on. Lied to us. You know, Biden wasn't even competent to be in that office. He didn't run the presidency. He didn't run the country. We had a shadow government basically running the country. And for me, I look at it this way. You lie to me once, okay, things happen. Second time, I don't know. Third time, forget it. These people have been lying constantly. They don't know the truth from a lie.
And you find no lies in Donald Trump's history?
Let's put it this way. Forget about his history.
Come on, man.
No. Forget about his history. I don't care what he did.
That's always the go-to. Oh, you don't think... Well, what's he lying about, Bill? Tell me what he's lying about other than you saying, you don't think Trump... oh, let me go get one of my tampons.
20 years ago. I come from New York.
You care what he did 4 years ago when he was president?
Yeah. What did he do? How did he hurt the country 4 years ago? When he was president, how did he hurt the country? Aside from the fact that, let's not go into the fraud on the election, if there was, if there wasn't, whatever.
Okay.
But how did he hurt the country?
Listen to what you just said. Tell me how he hurt the country, but let's not go into the main way he did it.
Not yet. Forget that for a moment, because that was the election at the end. Okay, but everything...
I can't forget that.
What did he do for the country?
And nor should I.
What did he do for the country?
Great question. What the fuck did he do?
Yeah, how was the country 4 years prior to Biden's administration? In your opinion?
Well, okay. I mean, he would say that he had the greatest economy of all time. Basically, he had the economy he inherited, which was Obama's economy. Well, that's true.
Okay.
Okay.
He didn't destroy it, right?
He did not destroy it. No, he did not destroy it. I mean, there are people, look, he cut taxes for the rich.
He cut it for the middle class also.
Yeah, I understand that. But if you look at the numbers, if you look at the charts, and most of it goes to the rich. Look, I'm not a communist, and I've been very hard on the left.
Yeah,
you have been, and I love it.
Yeah, when they are wrong. What Biden did mostly, I think, wrong was that he was feeble, he was old, he had not the strength or the appetite in any way to stand up to the far left fringe of his country. So he let them do anything. I'm not against some of these things that Trump is undoing now. DEI did go way too far.
Get rid of it.
So you know, there is and look, people voted for him. Elections have consequences. Somebody gets, when they get in office, that is their right to then go ahead and do what they said they were going to do.
Mm-hmm. And he's doing that.
He's definitely doing what he said he was going to do.
Everything that he campaigned on.
I mean, I didn't hear a lot about Greenland before he won, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from either, but that's Trump.
Well,
that's Trump.
Okay.
You know, I mean, you know, it's no longer the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America. I mean, we didn't hear any of that. I don't think that mattered to the American people, but the fact that...
I always found...
Bill can't relate to that. He's too feminine. He doesn't know anything about being a conqueror. Look at him. How is Bill Maher even famous? That just tells you, like, all the men in New York with their Capicios on and their Highwooders, with their scarves, walking around like they're hot shit. That's who celebrates Bill Maher. A bunch of non-binaries, whatever you want to call yourselves.
The important things, the border. You know, the economy, let's see what he does. I mean, he's in office 2 weeks.
I always found it amusing the connection between the mafia and their view of America, which is very patriotic. I mean, the very first scene in The Godfather,
Yes.
I'm sure you know it well.
Inside Out.
Inside Out. And what is his first line is, I think, I love America.
Yeah.
The undertaker who's coming to Don Corleone for justice. I love America. I came here, and then he goes through the whole story about my daughter. She went out with a boyfriend who brought another boyfriend, and they treated her like an animal. I sat in that courtroom, and they laughed.
How many times have you seen it?
Oh, I could do it. It would be.
It's on every week now. You can't miss it.
Oh, I mean, it's that kind of movie where you're like, if you see 2 seconds of it, you go, no, I've seen this too many times, and then you're home.
Where are your shoulders, Bill? You're built like a third grader, a female third grader, I should say.
When you watch the whole thing,
it's amazing. But he loves America, and Don Corleone understands. He's a little insulted because the man is asking him to commit murder because they raped his daughter
on the day of his daughter's wedding.
Oh, it's when you can't refuse any favor that they're asking you. And he said, "Well, it's not justice. I understand. You came to this country, you found paradise. There were courts of law and police to protect you, so you didn't need a friend like me."
That's good, Bill.
That's it. You didn't need a friend like me.
Yeah.
There we are again with the protection racket. But that's it. He's competing with America. America has done for this guy what he used to do when there were first immigrants in the country. America, there are courts of law and police to protect you. You didn't need me anymore.
All right.
That's so interesting to me.
Yeah, that's true.
But also that, they really do love America. I mean, Michael Corleone, when he has to go testify, he's a war hero. He was,
Bill, let me tell you this. I was indicted 7 times. I had 2 federal racketeering cases and a state racketeering case, and I love America. And at one time, I hated the FBI and I hated the government. I grew up hating them because I love my dad, and they were, constantly harassing him, in my view. Now I understand a little bit more.
But didn't he kill people?
Well, that's what they say.
But wasn't he head of the Colombo crime family?
He was the
Here we go with the insults. Well, who did he kill, Bill? Who do mobsters kill? Other guys playing the same game as them. Who do normal criminals kill? They have no boundaries. They'll kill the working man, some old lady for her pocketbook. The majority of organized crime go at it with other organized crime members, and you know what you signed up for when you sign up. But that's too much thinking for Bill, because he's too busy trying to insult people.
The boss.
You were the head of the family.
No, I was a capo regime, a captain. Right, a captain. Yeah. I mean, it was an official position. And
did you ever beat yourself up for not getting the top job?
Didn't want it, Bill.
You didn't want it? No. You didn't want to be there. Too high profile.
I had too much of a bullseye on my back, and you got to understand. I had investigations from the time I was 20 years old. I had a 14 agency task force on me for years, and kept getting these indictments. I went to trial 5 times. I beat every case.
But aren't these investigations of you for good reason? Because you were breaking the law?
Here's the thing. Here's what they're talking about, and this is what Bondi recently said. We're no longer going to use the Department of Justice to target an individual and find out what crime he's committing. That's what they said. That's what's been going on in lawfare for the past couple of years. But I can almost understand it. Mafia, organized crime, because we were allegedly criminals at that time. So, hey, let me see what this guy is doing. We know he's doing something. We don't know quite what, but we'll figure it out. We'll investigate him. Because it's backwards. In our life, you didn't have a crime and then they go investigate it. They were investigating you to see what crime you might commit.
But the mafia was committing crimes. You deny that?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying
extortion, loan sharking.
I'm saying you could almost say that's okay. All right, we know these guys are criminals. We don't know exactly what they're doing. We hear it. We have to find out. This is a criminal organization, so we'll target individuals and go after them. I would say kind of okay.
It was a fishing expedition where there were a lot of fish.
Correct. That's a good way to put it. Okay. But do you do that? Do you do that to legitimate people that are not involved with organized crime?
But you were involved.
I know, no, but I'm saying I'm okaying that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but do you do that to legitimate people that are not involved in organized crime because you don't like them, because they disagree
Right.
with you? They're not on your. They don't have the same agenda.
No, that is wrong, and there is some of that does go on. Absolutely.
Would you agree that a lot of it went on with Trump?
With Trump? Oh, what? You're obsessed with Trump?
I'm not obsessed with him, but I just want to have this discussion.
Oh, you're talking about lawfare. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough question that he put.
Oh, he's a conservative. He doesn't count. We could do whatever we want to him. F. Bill Maher.
The country in, because as president, you don't want to go where so many other countries have gone, where the guy loses an election and now they prosecute him because
they prosecuted him while he was president also with 2 impeachments.
Yes, because
So
he does
continue.
commit crimes. See, this is the little fly in your ointment.
No, Bill, he doesn't commit any crimes, because if he did, he'd be in prison, because they have went over Donald Trump, his family, his associates with a magnifying glass 10,000 times over, looking for something to lock him up on. It's all BS. I hope it happens to Bill. If he has kids, his family, I would love if Trump did that to you.
Like not conceding the election, trying to get fake electors to show up when he knew, and every court told him you can't do that. That went to court over 60
Lies.
times, laughed out of every court, pressuring the Justice Department, calling up.
The courts didn't laugh Trump out of court. The court told Trump, you were warned about voter fraud before the election. You had to put these buffers in when we told you to. You can't wait till after the election to ask for the buffers. And Trump was warned about a year and a half in advance before the election came, and that was a fatal error on his part, why he didn't win the election, and Democrats were able to carry out voter fraud. So he's lying through his teeth.
Up the guy in Georgia who was a Republican, the vote counter there, and saying to him, I need you to find 11,000 votes. It can't be more blatant than that.
Yeah, okay.
That these are crimes. I would also say the Russia thing, even when he just said out loud, Russia, if you're listening, I wish you could help me with my campaign. We never did that before, Michael. You see, we ran our own campaigns. We didn't bring in ringers from the outside. It's part of the original documents that the founding fathers wrote.
Really, dirtbag? The FBI went to Mark Zuckerberg and told him to suppress anything negative about Hunter and Joe Biden. This is why I can't stand Democrats, and I would never vote for another Democrat ever in my life. I don't care if a Democrat promised me $1 million a year for the rest of my life. I'd say F you. I would never vote for a Democrat, ever. After the way they treated Donald Trump, F you.
We don't want any help from outside because we're going to handle this ourselves. Maybe the Republicans and the Democrats fight each other to the tooth and nail, but don't bring in somebody from the outside. He broke that. He broke so many laws, not to mention norms. So the idea that, well, it's just lawfare going after him. It's not lawfare if the guy actually did commit crimes. And again, you have to weigh that against what's the better tact, because you don't want to become that country where as soon as somebody leaves office, they prosecute them. What the president gets to do should have broad protection. That's true. Because when you're president, you do have to make difficult decisions like, we may have to bomb you.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can't, you know what? Okay, you can't just be called a war criminal.
I'm done. You know, Bill thinks he's the most interesting man alive, or the most interesting and smartest man that ever lived. He's a piece of garbage. He's a coward. He's a worm, a weasel. I hate him. So I'll just end it with that. I hate Bill Maher.